It's been a long, long day. Let me make sure I know what day it is. It's the 11th, Wednesday the 11th. We've been working on this gun stuff all day. I finally went and printed it off. See my little sticky notes? Printed it off and I read it. And yeah, it's a turd. So, hold on a second. Oh, it's just Riley getting her water. So I read the whole thing, been through it, talking to a few more people, and I wanted to let you know that we are in fact going to be doing both state court and the federal court. So for those of you who are saying, well, not sure if I just want to do the one without knowing for sure the other, we're going to do them both. Okay. I'm going to do the state court, file it first because we got some good arguments there. But we're going to go see what the federal court thinks about this nonsense too, because I've been talking to a lot of, gun guys, let's call them, and they're on fire too. So that's what we're going to do. If you've had a chance to read this bill, though, there's a couple of interesting parts that I thought I would point out to you. I'll give you the 30,000 foot overview first. If you own an assault rifle, there's some pistols, and I'm not going to get into that. I mean, how they define these weapons is probably the hardest part of the whole law. But if you own an assault weapon at the time the governor signed this bill, then you have a right to keep it as long as by January 1st, 2024, you fill out an endorsement affidavit. Okay. And the state police of Illinois has to prepare this endorsement affidavit by October. They're supposed to have it done. Then you have to fill it out, this endorsement affidavit. Now, on a side note, I should let you know that I was talking to some people today that the Illinois State Police is already having conversations about what they're going to do after people fill out these endorsement affidavits. They're already talking about how they're going to start wanting to go and check citizens' properties after these endorsement affidavits start coming in and they know who has these weapons. They're already plotting. The state police is already plotting. I heard about it from someone that absolutely knows today. And so keep that in mind. But anyway, you got to fill out this endorsement affidavit. If you fill out the endorsement affidavit, you can then have your assault rifle that you possessed before the governor signed this law. You can't go buy a new one. It says you can't do that, right? So as of today, if you're a citizen, just a low citizen state of Illinois, you can't go buy one. If you're a federal firearms dealer, as of today, you can't sell them, you can't deliver them, can't do any of that stuff either, okay? Now, here's an interesting part about this law that it's worth you guys knowing. There's an exemption for certain people. If you're current or retired law enforcement officer, if you're a prison guard, think about that. I got a lot of buddies that are prison guards. You're a prison guard. There's another laundry list of them, but let's just stick with that. Retired law enforcement, current law enforcement, prison guard. You are exempted from this law. Not for your service weapon if you're a law enforcement, because even as a prison guard, you don't have a service weapon. Your personal rights, you're exempt. You can go buy, if you're a prison guard today, you can go buy a weapon. It doesn't apply to you. And guess what? You don't have to fill out any affidavits and send any affidavits in either. You're a retired retired cop. Go buy all of them you want. And you don't have to register them. What? It didn't even make any freaking sense. You as a citizen, just a private citizen, your rights to bear arms is being restricted. But if you're a prison guard, your rights aren't being restricted. That makes no sense whatsoever. Zero. It's one of the arguments we're actually going to make in this case is that it's irrational. It doesn't make any sense. Why does a prison guard, again, not disrespecting prison guards, a lot of them are my buddies. Why is a prison guard who doesn't carry a weapon at work, why is he going to go buy and keep all the assault rifles he wants without having to comply with any of the parts of this law? It makes no sense whatsoever. So anyway, that's pretty much what it says. Oh, and guess what? The prison guard or the retired law enforcement guy, they can also have a 50 cal. They can go buy a 50 cal too. And guess what else they can buy? 30-round clips. Buy all 30-round clips they want. Doesn't even make any sense. So that's the overarching issue that we're dealing with. Again, there's a lot of nuances in there that I'm not going to go over, but that's pretty much what it says, okay? So, you know, you've got a lot of the sheriffs across the county now, across the counties, issuing these letters. You guys have seen these letters. They're going viral that they're not going to enforce any of this. That's fine. They don't have to do anything if they don't want to. Keep in mind that doesn't bind the state police. The state police are not connected to the county sheriff. So, you know, what the state police might choose to try to do or not try to do, that's a long time down the road, a later conversation. But again, if your sheriff is making one of these statements, okay, that's fine. There are a lot of sheriffs that probably agree with them that aren't making those statements either. So, but again, that's not the end all tell all of it. There's still an issue going on that we have to address. We are going to probably, again, we're going to go through tomorrow on this issue of people that wanting to join up. Again, as I heard, there's a few businesses, FFLs, that have been wanting to join. When we initially set this up, it was set up for citizens to fight. If the FFLs are wanting to as well, they need to email Ryan and talk to him about what that might look like. It's a little bit different. So we'll have to talk through that with you. Drinking too much water tonight, just water. So again, we're going to wait, go through tomorrow for certain. I think there's a timer actually on the website at DeVoreLawOffices.com that gives the deadline when we're going to cut that off. And I'm working on the state court action right now. Be seeing you soon, J-Bob. But, you know, the federal stuff we're going to do as well. I wanted to let you guys know that if that's important to you, okay? No, Dawn, your guns aren't registered automatically in the manner of which they're trying to prescribe here when you buy them. There's no registry. When you do a background check like that, those documents aren't stored in like they're contemplating storing everything in this new system that they're talking about. Let me see here. No, JD, that's a good question. Actually, there's a provision in here that says that dealers actually can sell these weapons to those people who are exempted out. There's a provision in the law. So if you're a law enforcement officer, even again, in your personal capacity, there's a provision in this law that says a dealer can sell that to you. Shanna says, well, what will it make you if you don't fill out the paperwork? The statute's saying that if you don't fill out the paperwork the first time around, if you're possessing a weapon, you know, because again, your possession of this weapon is predicated on you as a citizen filling out this endorsement affidavit. If you don't fill out the endorsement affidavit first time around, it's Class A misdemeanor. I believe second time around jumps up to a Class 3 felony. So potentially it could be a felon, yes, for not filling out that paperwork. No, Mark, you can't sue the reps and senators that voted for it. You can unelect them. That's what you can do. Anthony, you want me to grease my chair? Can't afford it, man. Just a low-way old lawyer. Sorry about that. I'll fix that. Let me make sure there's no questions, guys. I identify as retired law enforcement or prison guard. That's a good one, Davey. You guys are typing so fast I can't read them. All right, I think that's will this make it to the U.S. Supreme Court? Jason asks. That's the plan. So, you know, hopefully we'll eventually make it, because there's some new cases out of the U.S. Supreme Court. There was one out of New York last June that really was very favorable for the people as it relates to Second Amendment laws like the Illinois passed here. So I'm very hopeful that in some fashion we're going to make it to the United States Supreme Court on this issue. I imagine, you know, there's going to be another case or two filed and we'll all eventually work our way together. Let me see. I mean, some of you guys are asking very specific, nuanced questions in there. You know, I'm not going to try to even answer those questions right now. I mean, this law, the ink is still wet, and you can come up with 10 zillion fact patterns about something being appropriate or not appropriate. It doesn't do any good to start doing that right now. How do they know if you'll actually own one if you just never fill out the affidavit? Again, Les, you can, you know, answer that question for yourself. That's not really a legal question. You know, you have to decide for yourself how you want to deal with that. Yeah, Anthony, I understand. The Bruin case is very good for us, and I agree with you. It's very solid argument, but you got to get there, brother. Let me see. Okay, so just you guys are just kind of talking over there on the sideline. So again, just to recap, you know, right now I'm working on finishing up a state court issue where we're going to raise some procedural problems, probably going to raise an equal protection argument. So get ready to respond to that one, Kwame. And we're going to get that going. We're going to ask the court, you know, to take this up pretty quickly in the state court. Same time, we're working on getting our federal documents ready. I know there's one or two more people coming into the federal court, and we'll figure out how we can, you know, not be working against each other and start working together to get all of you guys represented fairly. And, you know, we'll get that going as well, but the state court will be first. If you want to still join us, go to the website, DeVoreLawOffices.com, and you should be able to answer any questions you have out there for that. If there's anything else, you can email Ryan and ask him. So you guys have a good evening. We're still working on it. I'm going to keep reading and getting this thing prepared. So God bless you guys. I love you. Take care.